President Cyri Ramaphosa will today attend the African Union Africa Water Investment Program Water Summit 2025 at the Cape Town International Convention Centre. And we have SABC News reporter Bulelani Philip, who is at that summit. And let's cross to him just to give us a little bit more of what's coming through from there. Bulelani, interesting hearing Minister Phemi Majodina's views, but of course, so much more to be discussed at this particular summit.
Well, thank you once again, Sakina. As you've said, we are still coming from the Cape Town International Convention Centre. Of course, at this hour, we are preparing for the opening plenary, where the Water and Sanitation Minister, Phemi Majodina, will deliver the opening address. In that plenary, also, there will be King Mswati III, the monarch of Eswatini, as well as the President of Botswana, Duma Boko. Of course, the issues that are expected to come under the spotlight here in this conference is issues of financing water infrastructure, as well as universal access to water for people living on the continent. To take this debate further now, I'm going to invite the CEO of the South African Water Commission, Dr. Jennifer Molwantwa. Thank you so much, ma'am, for making time for us. Firstly, as the Water Commission, the issue of universal access, in your research, when you project that South Africa will be able to realize that?
I always say that while we have a crisis of climate change which affects the available water, we need to manage the water that is available best. And I always make an example of areas such as Windhoek, where it is a desert, but they do manage. So recycling of water becomes very much important. In our research, we know that by 2030, we will not be able to meet the demand of water, but that does not mean we are going to be helpless. Our research has shown that we need to be doing more with the little that we have. Industries need to be using technologies that better use the water that is available to them. Communities need to be using better ways. Agriculture need to be using better ways and sustainable ways of utilizing the water that we have. So we have to work now to ensure that by 2030, when we don't meet that demand, we are able to manage the water that we have.
The issue of reusable water using these technologies that you're talking about, are you thinking that you'll be able to get a buy-in from communities? Because some are despondent, thinking that maybe it's not that healthy.
Listen, we are already reusing and reclaiming the water that we use. It's just that we discharge it into the resources, and then downstream from that we abstract it. So what needs to be an important aspect that communities need to understand is to have the confidence and trust that the water that we are recycling meets the best standards in terms of quality. It means that we have to manage the biological aspects of the water. So your E. coli has to be very low, and all sorts of other things that could make people generally sick. But we need to bring in our communities through education and awareness to understand that we have to move in that way. For example, desalination as a technology was developed in South Africa by the Water Research Commission, the CSIR, and Windhoek. That was our first laboratory. And today it's a technology that South Africa is not even mentioned when it's utilized all over the world. And what we are saying is that with our innovations and other technologies that we are bringing on board, we need the buy-in of government more than communities, because we do test, the technologies in terms of the scientific and technical aspects, but also community acceptance. And here we're talking a lot around our sanitation systems. But there is buy-in. Now we need government to buy in as the main procurer to invest in our own technologies, to make sure that we don't take it outside where investors buy them and then they come back and we buy them at a premium cost.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Jennifer Molwantwa. She is the CEO of the South African Water Commission. On that note, I will cross back to you in studio.
Oh, thanks, Bulelani.